Have you ever dreamt of having your own vegetable garden and eating from your vegetable garden every single day? But you've thought, there's no way I'm gonna do that because you'll spend hours in the vegetable garden and then hours in the kitchen. Well, today I wanna show you all the things I eat in one day as a busy entrepreneur who's also a mom of four from my 200 square foot garden that honestly only takes about 5 minutes a day to take care of. Plus, all the recipes I'm gonna share here only take about 5 minutes too. So if you're feeling hungry, you better stick around. First up is breakfast. And this is my hands down favorite meal of the day if I don't eat anything else all day, which I will, but I will always eat this. This is a 3-egg garden green omelet. You are going to die for the flavor in this omelet. It's so good. So I start by coming in from a walk or from working out, and I head out to the garden to grab some greens. I grab whatever is seasonal. Today I got some broccoli greens because most of my garden is pretty dead, but the broccoli, it lives on. So I grabbed some broccoli greens, brought them upstairs and gave them a quick chop, put some butter into the pan, and then started to saute those broccoli greens. While that was happening, I cracked those 3 eggs. No, I don't have chickens, but one day. So I cracked those 3 eggs that I got from the grocery, mixed them up so that they are ready to pour over the garden greens. As soon as the greens started to wilt a little bit, I add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I just pour those whipped eggs right on top of the garden greens. Let that egg mixture come to a nice firm texture, and then I'm ready to add my 2 favorite toppings, just a little bit of cheddar cheese and some Williams-Sonoma chili crisp. Have you tried it? I'm obsessed. Okay, so I let that cook just a little bit, melt the cheese, and then flip it together, and voila, you have this incredible 3-egg garden omelet. I put some fresh alfalfa sprouts grown in the Gardenary Sprouter system. You can check it out right below this video. And I also added some kraut. It's very good to add some fermented foods to all your meals. So this is a red beet and red cabbage kraut. Love this so much. And voila, that is breakfast. All right, so now it is finally time to dig in. I've been waiting to eat this all day long. So you wanna put a little bit of kraut, a little bit of sprout. See, that rhymes. And then a lot of your garden green omelet. And then you just stick the whole thing in your mouth like this. So good. It's got like a savory, you know, it's got like that richness of the egg and the cheese. It's got this really kind of bitter, earthy flavor from the garden greens. And then the spice of the chili crisp. And then the sprout makes you feel like you're eating like just the freshest food because literally you can't get fresher. And then that kraut adds a little bit of sourness, a little bit of, you know, citrus flavor. It's perfection, and I made it in 5 minutes, and you can too. So right after I have some breakfast, I get to work, and let me tell you, I'm really working. So as soon as I finish that breakfast, I get dressed in about 3 minutes, and then it's time for me to start doing work with my team. So I do work all the way until about 11:30, 12:30, and then it's time for some lunch. So last night I knew that I wanted to have sourdough for all of today's meals because just wait to see what's coming for dinner. And I thought, oh, I gotta get my sourdough ready. So as I was cleaning up the kitchen, I just did a couple of quick kneads and put the sourdough dough into a little loaf pan. I love making sandwich bread with sourdough. Right after I made my omelet this morning, I popped that sourdough into the oven, and here is how she turned out, looking pretty dang perfect. At lunchtime, I love something that's kind of filling and comforting, but also has a lot of nutrition to get me going through the rest of the day. I'm a morning person, not an afternoon person. Enough said, right? So I made some sprout toast for lunch. I used the sourdough, and then right on top, I first put some yummy cream cheese, and then I covered this with alfalfa sprouts. These have been growing for about a week. They're so delicious. And then of course I put some pickled red onions on top, put a little salt and pepper for flavor, and this toast is ready to go. They say every good toast deserves a little bit of salad, so I did add a little side salad to go with lunch. It was raining today, but I was able to head out to the garden and get some really hearty greens. I grabbed some broccoli greens, some purple cabbage, and some collard greens, as well as some Toscano kale. Came in, gave all those greens a really nice thin chop because those are a little tough to chew up, and coated those with a little bit of olive oil and salt, gave them a nice little massage so they started to soften up. While those did their softening, I cut up the rest of the things I found in the garden, including strawberry leaves and a little bit of fennel and some arugula and parsley. And that added a nice little softness and freshness to the top of the salad. And then finally ended it up with some broccoli sprouts also growing on my kitchen counter. I'm gonna cover this with a Dijon vinaigrette. So easy to make. You can literally make it in just a minute or so. All that it includes is Dijon mustard, some olive oil, honey, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of salt. So I just take this, put it right over my salad right before I give it a taste. And oh my goodness, the freshest, most delicious salad. And this salad costs pennies on the dollar because I gathered all these greens from my backyard garden. All right, now it is time to eat some lunch. So let me show you how delicious this salad is. We get a little bit of sprout, a little bit of fennel. All these flavors work together so well. So we've got sprouts, we've got strawberry leaves, we've got parsley, we've got arugula. I mean, they say you should eat 30 different vegetables a week, I think, and I'm pretty sure there are like 11 or 12 just in this one bite. Oh my God. It's got the punch of the vinaigrette and then all these greens. It just so earthy, but not gross, like not bland, you know, like grocery store salad that tastes like cardboard. I don't even have words for it. I don't think the English language has words for this. One little bite, we'll see how it's going. Oh yeah, so much better for you. Fermented food. Got your pickled onions on here, could also be fermented. It's good. It's real good. Okay, lunch is done. Ta-da! I'm ready to move on to the hardest part of the day for me. I gotta pick up my kids, bring my kids all kinds of places, close up work, answer 100 emails. It's gonna be crazy, but we're gonna do it together. So afternoons are totally crazy for me. I have to just hurry, grab something to keep my blood sugar up, get me going through the rest of the afternoon, because honestly, around 3 p.m., I really wanna take a nap. But I can't. I gotta head out the door and go pick up my kids and get them to all their activities. So one of my favorite snacks from the garden is a little bit of carrot juice. It is so easy to make. All you have to do is skin a few carrots, put them into a blender, a high-speed blender, and add some water. You can be fancy about it. You can add some ginger. You can put some apple in there, some lemon juice. Some people do turmeric and pepper. You can get fancy with it, but this I just made with carrots and apple. That's it. You're just gonna blend it up with some water, and you could have a juicer. And me, I don't have a juicer. I have 4 kids, okay? So I take this, blend it up, and then all you need is a little strainer. Strain out that juice. You're gonna keep all the pulp. You can put that in your compost bin or use it for some carrot cake, whatever you wanna do. And then voila, you have got yourself an energy drink that is gonna get you through the rest of the day and isn't filled with all kinds of crazy stuff like those ones at the gas station. So I grabbed this carrot juice, grabbed myself an apple. Did you know I eat at least 1, 2, maybe 3 apples a day? No, I didn't grow this myself, but one day I will. I will have apple trees. So I get a little carrot juice. That hits my bloodstream almost right away and gives me the pep in my step I need to drive down the highway. Have a little apple, and I'm ready to go. All right, once I get all my kids home and we are prepping for the evening activities, it's time for dinner. And I usually make dinner pretty quickly in about 20 to 30 minutes. This dinner is no exception. So this is a kale and white bean soup, and it is so simple to make. This morning, when I was making breakfast for my kids, I started a little bit of vegetable broth on the stove while I was doing all these other things. So I just grabbed a bunch of veggie scraps from the fridge, things like a celery heart, things like the end of a cabbage and a couple of carrots, and then even a couple of Brussels sprouts that got lost at the back of my refrigerator. Threw those all in with some water, some salt and pepper, and let it boil while I was doing lots of other things. Then when it was time to make dinner, all I had to do was chop up some shallots and some garlic, and I sauteed those in a little bit of butter. And then I added a little bit of sherry vinegar to get all those nice juicy brown bits off of the bottom of the pot. Once I did that, it was time to add back in those carrots that I used to make that veggie broth. And then I added all that delicious veggie broth to the pot. Then I added about 3 cups of white beans and chopped up some delicious blue Scotch curled kale, my favorite kale to grow in the garden, right into the soup pot. I finished off with a little bit of salt and pepper and let that thing boil and cook for about 20 minutes. And then it's time to serve dinner. While the soup was simmering, I made this really delicious herb dip that my kids absolutely loved. It's so easy and all of us can make this. I just took a few herbs from my garden. I started with sage and then I put in some thyme, some oregano, and some rosemary. Sprinkled it with a little bit of sea salt and then just covered that herb mixture with some olive oil. So that is the perfect side for dun, 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 homemade sourdough. So now we have this delicious dinner that's ready to serve. We've got our kale and white bean soup. We've got homemade sourdough and we've got herb dip. And this is gonna be the most hearty, delicious dinner. If you put a little bit of cheese on top, that's even better. Convinces your kids, your teenagers, that they should take a bite too. So look at that kale. You've got the kale from the garden, you've got the carrots from the garden, the white beans you could grow yourself. I did not. And then we're gonna have right on the side some sourdough and some herb dip, and it is gonna be so good. All right, so we grab this sourdough, give it a little pinch. This will probably be the thing that at least my son eats the most of. And when you give it a dip, you want to be sure you get a lot of those herbs in there, just like this. You have never tasted bread like this. I mean, Michelin star restaurants, watch out for you. Then it's time to dig in, have a little bite of this really hearty kale and white bean soup. So simple, takes about 5 or 10 minutes to make. While it cooks, you make your herb dip and you're ready for dinner. All right, so this is the most delicious dinner ever. I cannot wait to actually eat this entire bowl. But once we finish dinner, it's time to get my kids to their last activities. I might be going to soccer practice or volleyball or cheer. When I get back, it's about time to wind down. I might put my feet up, watch a little bit of TV with my 2 youngest girls, and then I have my favorite nighttime ritual, which is to make a little bit of sage tea from the garden. So to close up the day, it is so easy to have this little cup of tea from my garden. All I need are some dried sage leaves and some boiled water. All I do is just pour the boiled water right over the dried sage leaves, let it steep for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I've got the most delicious drink to have right on my bedside table. So I get in my bed and pull up a good book and then finish off the day with some sage tea that I grew myself. And there you have it. Here's all the things that I eat in a day from my own backyard garden as a busy mom of 4 who's also an entrepreneur, because I'm a 5-minute gardener. My new book, 5-Minute Gardener, is all about this practice, growing enough food, tending it just 5 minutes a day so that you can eat from the garden every single day. Now you might be thinking, I'm not gonna eat all this in a day. Just start with one thing. Just having one of these meals, even just once a week, could absolutely change your diet, your health, and your whole entire lifestyle. That's what being a 5-minute gardener is all about. If you haven't gotten your copy of 5-Minute Gardener yet, right now is the perfect time, because once you get this book, you're gonna learn how to make what I call real fast food. Food that's fast, but it's real. Real from the garden and really, really good. I cannot wait to teach you how to make the garden part of your everyday life, even if you're super busy. Before you go anywhere, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tell me in the comments which dish you would be most likely to eat first. I cannot wait to hear. And if you have something else you want me to show you how to make from the garden, I'm all ears. Please share this video with someone who needs some inspiration to eat really good food and to start a garden themselves. I'm so thankful you're here. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Now, excuse me for a minute because I've got a little bit of food to eat. I'll see you next time.